Good morning, Rat and Pups. It's Miss Massey. So today, a lot of you are probably wearing peace signs because we are going to be talking about peer pressure. What is peer pressure? Have you ever heard that before? You might have, but you didn't really know what it meant. So the word peer means people that are your age. So your friends, your classmates, and peer pressure is where your friends or your classmates or the people your own age are trying to get you to do something that maybe your mind or your gut feeling are telling you not to do. So it might be breaking rules or doing something that your parents have told you not to do. Um, and it may even be something that your parents haven't said anything about, but you still know that it's probably a wrong choice. So that is peer pressure. So we're going to watch our first video and to really give you a good definition of what peer pressure is and a few ways that you can deal with it.
Peer pressure is a problem almost every student faces and takes a huge toll on their well-being. Wanting to be accepted is understandable, but some students go to great lengths to impress their peers, causing them stress or even depression. If you struggle with peer pressure, you're not alone. In fact, there are many strategies you can use to help overcome it. First, you must check in with yourself. Ask yourself these questions. Does this feel right for you? Are you comfortable with this? What will be the consequences of your actions? And finally, if you decide that you aren't comfortable, stand up to it. Say no and stay firm in your decision. By paying attention to your feelings, you will be able to determine what's right and wrong and how you should respond. Second, evaluate your friendships. Consider changing your peer group if you feel like your friends are constantly pressuring you to do something you don't want to. True friends will not ask you to change yourself in order to be accepted. If your friends don't have your best interests at heart, then it's better to search for new friends who do. Third, remember that dealing with peer pressure is certainly not easy. If the previous strategies don't work, ask for help or advice from an adult. Don't endure it. Inform an adult you trust so that they can get involved and sort out the situation. Always remember that asking for help is okay, so don't keep it in. In short, overcoming peer pressure takes a lot of courage, but whatever situation you're in, never give in to peer pressure. You must recognize that it's not okay for others to pressure you into doing things that you don't want to or make threats when you don't cave in. And it is absolutely not acceptable for others to mock, shame, or criticize you for the choices you make.
All right. So she gave you 3 different things to do if you have peer pressure. So, first, think about the consequences. Okay? Decide, is this going to get me in trouble or is this not going to get me in trouble? You have to decide, do you want a positive consequence or a negative consequence? 2, don't change yourself. Like she said, if they are true friends, they're going to love you for who you are. They're not going to try to make you do things to be cool or because it's funny or, to be mean to other people. True friends aren't going to make you do those things. And then third, you can ask an adult. Ask an adult if you're not sure what to do or how to handle things. We are all here to help you grow and help you learn and help you become a good adult. So we're going to continue with another video about peer pressure.
Peer pressure is talked about so much that it can seem a little bit like a joke, especially when you're a teenager. But actually experiencing peer pressure can be so uncomfortable. Like, did you really want to run that 10K with your super athletic roommates? Maybe not. But they just asked so many times that it was easier to go do it than listen to them ask again. You've probably been told that to resist peer pressure, you should just say no. But surprise, that doesn't always seem to work. And neither did that DARE program that was everywhere in the 90s. Psychologically speaking, it totally makes sense that we want to give in to social norms. But that doesn't mean it's always a good thing. Thankfully, researchers have come up with some better ideas for resisting peer pressure. So the next time your roommates try and drag you on a run, you'll be prepared. Psychologists believe that we're basically hardwired to want to feel like we belong. After all, in our evolutionary past, cooperating with groups was necessary for people to survive. Because of this, social norms have a huge effect on our behavior. especially ones called injunctive norms, which tell us how society thinks we should behave in certain situations. These norms aren't necessarily bad. For example, they're part of why you'd stop at a red light or pay a friend back when they loan you money. But following them can also cause us to act in risky or dangerous ways to fit in. In an early demonstration of this effect from 1968, 58 male college students were asked to fill out questionnaires about going to an urban school. Then, while they did, the room they were in started to fill with smoke. When the participants were in the room alone, most of them went to get help. But when they were in groups, they were much less likely to, which seems pretty weird. One possible explanation for this is that the participants looked at other people's behavior to try and figure out how they should respond. If the other people didn't seem stressed by the smoke, they might have decided that it wasn't something they had to worry about. Now, this was just an experiment, but things like this happen all the time in real life. Like, imagine you're hanging out with your buddies and someone turns on the worst, most horrible sounding music you can possibly imagine. Except you don't say anything, and neither does anybody else. So you're all just sort of politely sitting there, and you might come to the conclusion that your friends actually enjoy this terrible music, and maybe you're the problem. Psychologists actually have a name for this concept: pluralistic ignorance. It's the idea that a group might feel a certain way, but nobody in the group realizes it because everyone is keeping their true feelings to themselves. Because of this, you might come to think a certain social norm exists, like that smoky rooms are totally normal, even if everybody else is secretly just as uncomfortable with the situation. Pluralistic ignorance can play a huge role in peer pressure, and psychologists have also suggested it might be a factor in the heavy drinking that often occurs on college campuses. Recent studies have also confirmed that pluralistic ignorance plays a role in all kinds of other situations too, from cigarette smoking and drug use to beliefs about mental health treatments. So it's not only relevant to that lecture your high school teachers might have given you before you went off to college. The nice thing is, though, this concept can also help you resist peer pressure. See, people often give in to something because they assume everyone agrees it's right. So psychologists have suggested that if you know about pluralistic ignorance, it might reduce the pressure you feel to conform with the group. And there may have been other variables at play in both of these studies. This suggests that having a little psychology knowledge in your back pocket can totally help you out in the real world. It's like having a secret window into your friends' brains. So the next time someone puts on that horrible playlist, speak up. You may find that other people were just as uncomfortable as you were, but didn't want to be the first person to admit it. Thanks for watching this episode of SciShow Psych, and special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. There's so much psychology to explore out there, and we're thankful for all of you who make it possible.
Now we are going to listen to real teenagers. Some of you can relate to some of these people as they have gone through peer pressure. So let's see how they handled the peer pressure, and maybe you can learn something from them.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and welcome to the Navigating Teen Life channel. Today I'm here with Naya, Lara, Madison, and Jane. And today we're going to be talking about peer pressure. So what does peer pressure mean to you?
I think to me it's being influenced by by one of your peers to do something that you wouldn't necessarily want to do normally.
Yeah, I agree.
Tell me about a time that you felt peer pressured.
The one that maybe caused me the most harm was this one time my friends and I were at a park, and there was this giant tree branch laying across a creek, and my friends told me to climb it. So I did, because I didn't want to seem like, I'm, scared.
Yeah.
So I climbed it, and then I went to go jump off, and my foot got caught on a branch, and I tripped and fell and sprained my ankle.
No.
But, I got hurt, so maybe you shouldn't have jumped off that tree or climbed up it.
Even now, everyone has the same pair of shoes on or brand of shirts or pants. Oh, well, maybe I should shop there, even if I can't afford it or it's too far.
I honestly feel like, you have to learn how to be you and to follow what you feel like is best for yourself. So even with the clothes or the trends, wear what's comfortable for you. And if that person is really your friend, they're going to be like, okay, you're comfortable, I'm cool. If you good, I'm good.
Have you ever given into peer pressure, and how did you feel?
No. I mean, I've never given into peer pressure because I've always been my own person. So I don't feel pressure to act a certain way or be a certain way or do a certain thing or dress a certain way. So
that's good to hear. With the clothes, I did give in for a while, and I dressed the way that I thought that I would be accepted the most for. So, like I was saying about the short shorts, I did wear the short shorts and everything, and I found out that A, I hated them, and B, it didn't feel as good as I thought it was going to be. I thought when I dressed like that, I was going to be accepted, but really, after that, peer pressure, there comes more, and it becomes higher and more stakes.
Like I said, I did give into the peer pressure, and I felt pretty bad after my ankle was swollen for like 3 days. So, and my friends still called me scared because, even though I did climb up the tree, it didn't really help their viewpoint of me, so it wasn't really worth it.
That's what I was saying
Girl.
about giving into peer pressure. You think, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be accepted, but sometimes that's not how it goes at all.
What's the best advice you can give to somebody that's struggling with peer pressure?
I think space is important. Like if you feel like, oh, like I have to act a certain way around someone, or when I'm around them, I usually have to, then you should like give yourself some space between those
like
those
separate
friends.
yourself.
Yeah.
I think you should surround yourself with people who have the same values as you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that won't put you down for not agreeing with them.
I think it's really important to know that if you have friends that are that are pressuring you to do things that you don't want to do, those aren't really your friends.
Yeah.
They're not. Because like I said before, if you can't feel comfortable with who you truly are around those people, they're not your friends. Because your friends are going to always accept you for you, no matter what the circumstances are.
I think that when you feel peer pressured, you should probably think like, would I normally do this? Or am I being pushed to do something beyond my limits? Like, I use this example, would your mom approve of what you're doing right now? And most of the time, if your friends are peer pressuring you to do something, the answer is going to be no.
My parents and I, we have a key saying or emoji that I'll send to them if I don't feel safe in a situation, and then they know to pick me up instead of flat out saying like, hey, I don't feel comfortable being here, and then they know just to pick me up.
I just want to say that just because you get peer pressured and maybe you make a mistake, that doesn't make you a bad person. My one friend decided to jewel at a party, and then he turned his life around. So what I'm just trying to say is, if you do make a mistake, if you are peer pressured into doing something, that doesn't make you a bad person. Mistakes happen.
Yeah. I'd like to bring up that even if you do make a mistake, it's okay because you can talk to a parent, a teacher, a pediatrician, because they've been through it and they won't judge you, they'll help you, and you'll feel more comfortable telling someone who's older.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up. And always remember, be true to who you are and stay confident in yourself.
Thanks for watching, and from one teen to another, together we're navigating teen life. See you next time.
All right, so as you can see, I bet a lot of you have had similar experiences where you want to be cool, or you want to be accepted, or you think maybe you'll get more friends if you do certain things. But the most important thing is to be yourself, and true friends like you for who you are, all your quirkiness, or even the weird things that you do, or the things that you like or don't like. That is who you are, and you should be proud of who you are. So we're going to end today's lesson with our drug-free song. I hope you really take to heart this lesson and remember that you need to be you, not somebody else. Have a good day. Bye.